a case study video of the order book from FXSSI.com, and I want to show you the tricks that the market makers do and the havoc that it plays on the average retail trader, and why you're possibly encountering quite a lot of stress and potentially losses because you don't have visibility of the tricks and the things that they do to maximize their profit potential while hindering our profit potential because we don't have visibility of the order book. Well, most commonly you wouldn't have, but we do, and I recommend that everyone does it as well. Everyone's got access to the order book because then you can see support, resistance, and you can also see targets as well. So let's talk about the order book. So it's this thing that you can see on the right hand side. It's made up of two histograms. The one on the left are the orders, and the one on the right are the current positions. So that's very easy to explain. The orders is a little bit more complex. So what's happening is that we can see where they're going to enter or where they're going to exit. Now, commonly speaking, the average retail trader won't enter an order. He or she will enter at market. If you think about it, your own personal experience, you've got the buy or sell button. You normally use that. I'd say it was fairly rare for people to place orders. It does happen, but most commonly speaking, people enter at market. So what you see on the left-hand side are going to be where they're going to exit. Note that this big old move to take out the SLC. We come up to get the SLC, and we come down to get the SLC. What's SLC? It's a stop loss cluster. So if it's basically we're targeting the nodes where they're going to exit. Okay, so that's the orders taken care of. The right hand side are the current positions. So we've basically think of this as resistance and this is a support. But what we want to do, we want to see which is the stronger of the two. Now we can see we've got some considerable sell volume here. So it should act as a support because it overwhelms that area on the right hand side. Okay, and you know, this bit's outweighing that bit. So that would be quite strange because the profit sellers are overwhelming the buyers. So these guys who shorted here are making some good profit. Okay, so that would be slightly unusual. Normally what should happen is that they're getting punished. So how reliable is that? How likely is that going to be remain true? How are they going to hold on to profit? It won't be allowed. Okay, they can have a little bit of profit, but they're going to get punished. All right, so that's that been taken care of. That's the orders and that's the current position. So what we're interested in are the sides of the equation, which is stronger of the two. Okay, so let's zoom a little bit. Remember, we've come down to take out some stops. Right, that's really cruel. And then in case you're curious, this profit and loss, it's test machine 5, and that's using the spreadsheet. That's using the volume delta and the daily and weekly confirmation. So that's the current testing that we're doing. Okay, in case you're wondering what that is. All right, let's zoom forward a bit through time, maybe a couple of minutes or so. And you know, we've taken out that node. Okay, so they've had to exit, and I'm going to add SLCs. That's that cursor. I just simply added the stop loss cluster so we can have targets. So that's the likely target. That's the likely target. And now I'm saying on the live feed is that this is a strange place to have your exit. Normally you'd have your exit there. So that's a bit weird. Like, why would you have your exit there? It doesn't really make much sense. You'd have it below the swing low. And this is why the lows are raided and why the highs are raided. And we can see reversals. And that's because it's a liquidity hunt. So that's a strange place. That's fine. That makes sense because it's above that. Now what we can see that we know that these are targets, but what's going to happen is that they're going to bring their stop loss cluster lower down because what they're looking at this price action, they think, wow, this is actually really bearish. I'm going to enter short, and I'm going to be pretty convinced that it's going to fall. So I'm going to bring my stop a bit closer, and they're going to get punished for that. Okay, so while it looks like we're actually looking quite heavy, you see this is going to do a huge reversal, and I'll show you why. Okay, so remember we're interested in the current positions. We're slightly outweighing that bit. Actually, we're strongly outweighing that bit. So this bit here, they'd sold. Okay, you can see the blue is larger of the orange, I guess we can call it. It's like a beige color. They entered short. Okay, you can see that overwhelming. So let's go a little bit further through time. And we're starting to move off that because what's happened is that they started to sell. So we're going to wick really strongly because they've got involved and they think that we're going to fall. So that's like indication one that we're going to move up higher because that's overwhelming this. Okay, the indication two is them moving their stop loss cluster lower, and then that tells us that they're convinced, they're confident about the move, right? And they're going to get screwed. Okay, forward through time a bit. We should start moving quite strongly. Okay, not quite yet. So it's still doing that ruse. We can move forward through time. And there we go. So we're doing that. So that's fine because remember they'd started to sell. So we should be moving from that. This is acting as a support because they're going to be getting punished. Okay, these are the sellers. They got involved. And there are sellers here as well. Okay, right. And forward through time a bit. It's all very, very interesting. It's quite fascinating. So it hasn't, it's still moving. And we're going to go through time a little bit more. And it's been a little bit naughty. So, you know, they're thinking, well, actually, this is probably going to fall. I think, yeah, we're going to get involved. Look at the size, 2.37. That's going to increase, okay? Because they think we're going to fall. And it's just really evil. Okay, still nothing there. Still 2.37. Go forward. And still hovering around. It's still doing its thing. See, it's quite painful. I mean, that's like an hour's gone by, and it's playing havoc, absolute havoc with your patience. It makes you second guess yourself. What is actually going to happen? Are we actually going to fall? And you start getting frustrated. But if you've got the order book, then you can see what's going to happen, right? So at this point, I'm like thinking, maybe it is going to fall. Maybe we're going to come and get that. Let's see. You know, this should act as a support, but we're seeing like a little bit of an imbalance here. Let's keep going. And what we're going to keep going and going. So we're moving up higher now. Okay. Keep going. So an hours has passed, and you could be like pulling your hair out a little bit now. If you were trading with like a decent size, you're like, oh my God, do something, move. And you start getting frustrated. So they can wait. They don't mind having price to go sideways because it just means that the SLCs are going to get larger, and the larger the SLCs, the better yield for the market makers. Big move now. Okay, so it's really moving, and what's going to happen is that we're going to fall, and then they're going to be really convinced that we're going to continue to fall, and it's really bad. It's very cruel. There you go. This is the move. This is the naughty move. Okay, so it's going to fall, and they're going to wait. I'm going to get really involved here, and I'm going to short this because they're getting quite frustrated, and this is quite horrible price action anyway. So go forward a bit through time. Now, hour and a half has gone by, and what's happened is that they're really convinced that we're going to fall, and the SLC has almost doubled to 4.21. Now, what's happened is that they've got really involved. They were so sure that we were going to fall, they've really increased their sell volume. Their bias for it to fall has really increased a lot. See, that blue area is larger than that. And because they bought their SLC lower and they started to short, it was almost 95% probable that we were going to come up and get the SLC. And then I guess you know what's going to happen. And we're going to come up and get it. And it's all it is. It's just interested in exploiting retail traders and their positions, and it's punishing them for their emotions. And they're so sure that we were going to fall, they're going to get punished. And we can see that it's going to act as a support. because it's overwhelming that. And that's pretty much it. We can see now we've taken the SLC. No, not quite. Your tight spread probably would have taken you out. If you've got a zero spread, you would have been fine. But I think if you've got like a normal broker, that might have taken you out. And then what happens is it falls, and then we take it properly. So 2 hours have gone by. So you think, well, I've just wasted 2 hours of my life, and this kind of sucks, and you're getting all that negative emotions. But with this, at least you had a pretty good idea what's going to happen, right? Because you got, that's your strong bias. They moved their stop lower, and they really got involved aggressively bearish on pound USD at this point. Move forward through time, and it's hovering around. And what's probably happened is that they could be waiting for that to get a little bit larger, 4.6. So nearly 3 hours have gone by now. And I've just changed that so you can see the profit lock, because that profit lock is something that we're testing. And we have shot up through the SLC, and we've grabbed that liquidity. And I guess that's pretty much it from a order book perspective. So what happens if they move their stop lower and they get involved in the sales? We're probably going to come up and get the SLC. And that's some of the things that they do to exploit the retail trader. And to think that 3 hours have gone by, and it would have been very painful to trade that, but it would have been less painful with the order book. So hopefully that's a good demonstration. Remember to get a copy of it, study it, because it's absolutely amazing. And if you've got any questions, you can always ask me, and I can help you as well. So massive amounts of liquidity taken out of the market from just impatience. And because they were so convinced we were going to fall, we come up and punish them. And that's the order book case study and user guide. Morning, guys. So I'm not sure if you are aware, but we have a ability for you to join for free at QuasiDB, and you can unlock Discord in its entirety and all those channels and the bank forecasts and our community, trade setups, the robots, and you can also have me as well for support if you need, and also the spreadsheet as well. And the spreadsheet is enormous, and it's really, really powerful. And it's even got a thing where it's got predictive sentiment in the spreadsheet now. So it can predict the future, pending that the crowd hold, of course. They may not hold. If they flip-flop, it's not ideal. But if they hold, then we can predict what they're going to do, which is really cool, because we have a thing called the future bubbles. So if you were interested in unlocking all of that stuff, you create an account at IC Markets, and what you'll need to do is just simply click the link. It's campaign 55485, and you'll come here, and it'll store a little cookie on your computer to say that you've used that URL, and then you just simply say, you fill in the information, and you say, I'd like to join. Hi, I would like to join campaign. If I can spell it, 55485, and can you merge my live account with this campaign ID, if I can spell it. And then that's it. Then you'll fill in the information. Obviously it did ask for the name, but that's obvious. You will fill that in, and then you'll speak to the AI bot, and then you'll type that in, and then that will get the ball rolling. And so let me know once you've done this, once you've funded your account, and then I'll send you the sheet and give you Discord unlock. But I will need to see activity on that account. You can't just have live funds in there and not use it. Okay, so just a quick plug there for IC Markets, and it is without a doubt the best broker I've ever used. And you can see that is absolutely insane as well. 200,000 happy active clients, and the support is fantastic. I've never had any issues whatsoever with their support. The sign up is easy, and the withdrawals are easy as well, because it has PayPal and various schemes as well, credit card, debit card, Skrill, Apple Pay, and that's it. So it's an option, and all you're going to just simply do is just tell them that you want to join the campaign ID 55485, and whether or not you can merge my live account or your live account with this campaign ID. And then they'll say, yep, I'll put you through to a human, and then you may have to repeat that. And then they'll say, oh, can you email this address? And then you'll email that address, and then they'll have a record of your account officially wanting to merge with this campaign 55485. Okay, just a quick one there if you were interested in unlocking all the stuff that we provide for free. Okay.